All right, so the cause and effect paradigm. In life, people often find themselves at effect. Okay, they react to external events, circumstances, believing that life happens to them. And this mindset breeds victimhood, right? Where individuals blame others, they blame their environment, they blame external forces for their struggles. Right? In this state, we feel powerless to create any type of change. Okay, and our society often rewards this mentality by giving sympathy and validation to those who identify as victims. This is huge, especially in Australia. Those who do not work get supported by the government, receive money. So being a victim, you get rewarded, right? So we really want to step out of this victimhood mindset, right? And we're going to learn, instead of being at effect, to start to step into cause. Okay? So when someone is a cause, right, they start to, when someone is a cause, however, they acknowledge that they are the ones driving the car of their life, right? They're taking power back. This is what we want to empower our clients to be at, more of the cause, not the effect. Right? Through the law of cause and effect, you'll see that nothing comes in effect other than what you've been causing, right? Action, your actions, your behaviors, everything then comes back to you. What you give is what you get. Right? The seeds you plant is the seeds that you sow. Okay, so instead of reacting to what happens to them, they recognize that their thoughts, their emotions, their behaviors and decisions all contribute to the outcomes they experience. Okay, so we've seen with the model earlier, thoughts, emotions, behaviors and actions create our results in life. Now, the trap of victimhood. Okay, so our brains are wired for efficiency and safety, meaning we naturally default to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. This is why a lot of us like to stay in our comfort zone. Okay, so we want to break through. We're very habitual. We want to stay safe. We're biological creatures. We've come from tribes. Our biology is wired like that. Okay, so anytime our brain thinks it's something dangerous, we want to avoid it. So it's easier to remain at effect because change is hard. And taking responsibility means stepping outside of that comfort zone, right? And we want to maintain that status quo, that mainstream consciousness, yeah, fitting in, right, and not sticking out and doing what we want to do, right? Stepping out of the group think. Right, so being a victim often feels safer because it absolves us of the need to take action. So it takes us away. We don't need to take action. It's easier being a victim, right? Because action's scary. Okay, so our role as coaches, simply, we're going to help take our clients from victim to victor, right? From effect to cause. Number one job. We want to empower our clients. You're going to get clients over the years who are going to want to rely on you, and they're going to, always come to you and think that they need you 24/7. We want to empower them eventually to not need you. Okay, obviously we all have mentors, we all have coaches, we all have people that we can aspire towards and support us throughout our journeys, of course. But when it comes to this type of work, we want to empower them as well to take full responsibility for their lives, their decisions, and their results, not always coming to us for the answer. Okay, we also want them to own everything, like their triggers, their reactions, and the labels that they've internalized. They have to own it, right? Okay, so we teach them that to be at cause of their emotions, their thoughts, and their actions. All right, like we said, moving to cause is not always easy, but it's the only place where true empowerment and transformation can happen. It requires letting go of comfort of being a victim in victimhood, stepping into a space of accountability and ownership. That's why we invest in coaches so that we can then rationalize the importance and listen to what they're saying, keep us accountable, do what we say we're going to do. Okay. So at cause, we become the creators of our reality. At effect, we remain the victims of it. As coaches, our mission is to guide people to see that the power to change lies in their hands. And it begins by stepping into cause. Okay, we have the power to plant the seeds. We have the power to make the change. All the transformations that we're doing, right? Even if someone's guiding us, we're the ones doing it.